Hello and welcome to Behind the Lyrics, the series where I answer, Alex, what were you thinking when you wrote these particular lyrics? Let's talk Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has like 900 plus songs in its massive soundtrack repertoire. So choosing 6 out of all of those was always going to be interesting. In the end, the highly scientific and highly thought out method that I used to choose those songs was, they were ones I liked listening to. That's it. Also, I guess they're ones that have new remixes specifically for Smash Ultimate, so I didn't just go, Yuga's theme from Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds is in Smash Ultimate. I guess it's a Smash Byte now, despite the fact that it's literally just that theme, and there wasn't really any changes to it for Smash. I wrote the lyrics for Versus Marks and Versus Ridley, which isn't out yet at the time of this video. Have patience, guys. Separately from the Smash Bros. Bytes, so they're not included. Also, otherwise it would have been really bloated, and 900 plus songs. We'd never be done with Smash Bros. Musical Bytes if we included every single song from there, guys. Also, I will not be talking about Gangplank Galleon and Lifelight, because I didn't write those lyrics. With that being said, let's start off with Brinstar Depths.
Soon you'll see, bow to my philosophy. All is dark, all is cold. Give to me your heart and soul.
Brinstar Depths was the first of the Smash Bros. Bytes I started writing, but I shelved it and got back to it after I finished writing all the others. Mostly it was because I really couldn't find a good, catchy hook for the song. Originally, it was going to be some variant of Bow to My Philosophy, but then I realized I'm not spending a whole lot of time describing what that philosophy is. Then I thought about what Metroids were, realized what they'd say if they could talk, and kicked myself for not realizing that the philosophy would be actually kind of obvious. They would talk about nihilism and despair, and how much easier it would be to just give up and give more to themselves rather than literally anything else in the galaxy that's not them. So the hook became all is dark, all is cold. Metroids are weak to the ice beam, so cold for them would be the best metaphor for death, ruin, waste, what have you. And a parasitic species that's evolved to the level Metroids have would probably wonder why anything lives if its entire purpose is to either decay or be absorbed. So in between the references to Metroid Prime 2 and 3, with shadows in the echoes and every heart falls to corruption, most of the lyrics are just basically Dark Samus saying, you and every other form of life is a total waste. Just give up. Dark Samus / Metroid Prime isn't really a creature you can gender effectively, so I went for a sound that would sound kind of like Samus, but just completely detached and otherworldly. So I reflected this both with Kylie Ann's growly, barely human vocals, and lyrics that are just so inhuman, so detached, so cruel, that it's basically impossible to find any shred of empathy or compassion in them. So yeah, Dark Samus would probably have loved Nietzsche, because like so many people on the internet, Dark Samus would have misinterpreted Nietzsche to fit their own worldview.
All is dark, all is cold. Give to me your heart and soul.
Vega's theme.
Los luchadores guapos nunca pierden una batalla.
Quick bit of clarification. Due to rights issues involving Mike Tyson, the names of 3 boss characters from Street Fighter II got swapped around. Vega is the name of the Spanish ninja with the claw in America, and since I'm American, that's the name I'm familiar with. When it comes to fighting games, the characters I main / are my favorites are either the speedy ones who bounce everywhere or the really heavy ones. There is no in-between. And since I was hot garbage as Zangief, Vega was my favorite in Street Fighter II. Now, in Street Fighter, as well as a lot of other fighting games, there is a surprisingly deep story about why these people come to beat the crap out of each other. Often people have multiple pages of backstory. Vega's backstory boils down into, he's a narcissist who likes killing people. Okay then. Vega is a nobleman, assassin, and matador, hence the end of the chorus, outright calling him those things. So the lyrics reflect not only how highly he thinks about himself, but also totally degrade whatever opponent he happens to be facing in a cage match by comparing them unfavorably to mindless wild bulls. Originally, the song was going to be chorus only with a crowd of awed onlookers talking about how amazing Vega is, But then I realized, why would a narcissist like Vega not sing about how great he is? I mean, Gaston gets in on Gaston, so... I chose to have Vega speak Spanish, even though in Street Fighter he and every other character can speak English just fine, because whenever it's possible to have someone talk in a native language, I will go for it, if only because I kind of like the... Is aesthetic the right word if it's sound-based? I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is. Outside of his spoken dialogue, which is just quotes from Vega that I put through Google Translate because my Spanish is very rusty, one particular word that might have tripped a lot of people up is picador before matador. Basically, picador is a type of matador that rides around on a horse and is going to stab at a bull with a spear. They're there to weaken and taunt the bull in question so that the main event, that would be Vega obviously, can do the show-stopping event of actually killing the animal. That particular bit was actually inspired by Blue-Eyed Matador by Voltaire, in which skeletal picadores do stab away at a bull before Voltaire's character is supposed to go fight it.
Fly bloody hateful, you watch as I soar, noble killer matador.
Snake Man.
All alone upon a winding trail, never knowing when the ground will fall beneath your feet.
Snake Man's theme was a lot more electronic sounding than the rest of the songs that I picked for this list, so I wanted to go for a more EDM-inspired set of lyrics and general vocal style. Because, of all things, it reminded me of the Living Tombstones remix of It's Raining Men featuring Elsie Lovelock on vocals. Mega Man the Musical was going to be the project I was going to move on to next after Chrono Trigger the Musical, but due to a variety of factors, I shelved it. That being said, however, Snake Man was one of the characters from that musical, so I already had a good idea of what Snake Man's personality and lyrical style would have been like. I also had determined when planning Mega Man the Musical that Mega Man was a huge sausage fest of a franchise, so some of the robot masters would be converted into women, / who cares what the gender is, it's a robot, and Snake Man was one of them. I prefer the .exe designs of the robot masters from the Battle Network series, if only because I find them more visually distinct and striking. So originally it was going to be just SnakeMan.exe's design no matter who voiced Snake Man. But then, by sheer serendipity, when listening to auditions, I happened to have both Kyle and Pudgeon's tracks playing at the same time, and I thought, hey, these two sound really good together. What if I have it be two Snake Men? The lyrics and characteristics of Snake Man / Snake Men owe a lot to the Megas and their song Walk Away from Light, which draws on parallels to the serpent from the Garden of Eden telling Eve, yeah, go ahead, take a bite of the apple, don't mind me as I tempt you into sin. And also in general remnants from Mega Man the Musical of Snake Man being a lying, treacherous, manipulative bastard.
Yeah, the snake is on the rise, swear that I'm not faking, that your will is breaking, you know there's no mistaking what you see before your eyes. We take you in and the union of the snake is on the rise. Yeah, the snake is on the rise.
Bloody Tears and Monster Dance mashup.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
Now, a common joke in the comments section is that Alex always plays the bad guy. And I will fully admit I love writing bad guy songs because then I have an excuse to be as bombastic as I possibly can. That being said, I try to give appropriate due to everyone who I write lyrics for. In making the songs both true to the character and true to the instrumentation, sometimes the hero songs just aren't going to be as bombastic as the villain songs. Then, however, there are the exceptions, because I don't know how much more presentational, big, and out there you can get as a hero than people who burst into a vampire's castle to whip him in the face. Despite what can be some pretty dark imagery of religion, blasphemy, monstrosities, whatever, Castlevania is always going to be kind of a silly game based on the concept. As always though, the key to being true to a series is by treating it seriously and with all the respect it deserves. And to be honest, even if it is a little silly, the Belmonts are paladins of God, who most of the time single-handedly beat back the legions of hell with a whip and whatever else they happen to find. Bloody Tears is typically a song more associated with the bad guys in Castlevania, but we've got Monster Dance attached to this arrangement, so the bad guys are covered. So I wrote lyrics as if Bloody Tears was just an anthem that the Belmonts sung passed down through generations, basically saying this is going to happen time and time again, but we are here to kick ass. I am the descendant of House Belmont. What's up? So in that sense, Richter and Simon are doing a distant duet with each other from a couple hundred years apart because it's music. It's very easy to harmonize with someone who's a couple hundred years away from you. Monster Dance, on the other hand, is sung by the Legions of Hell / Count Dracula's minions, alternatively 3 people doing a lot of different chorus tracks. This would have been a typical Legions of Hell with multiple overlapping parts bragging about how great they are song. I've done a couple of those before, like a Primitive Mountain from Chrono Trigger, but then I realized this song isn't about the Legions of Castlevania, it's about Simon and Richter. So they got the overlapping part instead, because you do not mess with the Belmont boys.
Back to hell, mankind no longer fears thee. Now the Belmont's here. Now the Belmont's here.
Thank you for listening to me explain my thought process behind these songs from Smash Bros. / whatever other series they originated from. If you'd like to go back and listen to them, the link for that is right over here. If you want to check out more of what I've done, here is what YouTube thinks that you would like. If you like what I do, make sure to subscribe to see more of it, and if you want to support me, here is my Patreon. Looking forward to producing and maybe explaining, maybe, even more content for you. Thank you for watching, Internet Man, away!